12, and now we have a look at all the action at the World Amateur Boxing Championships.
It's been a glittering year for Jason Quigley. Gold in the Irish Elite Championships in February. Gold in the European Elite Championships in June. And today, Jason Quigley is tantalizingly closer to an even greater prize, gold at the World Boxing Championships in Kazakhstan.
Jason Quigley is in the world final.
It's finals day at the World Amateur Boxing Championships, and carrying the hopes of a nation, 22-year-old Jason Quigley. It's a responsibility he appears more than comfortable with and well capable of bearing into this, the biggest day of his boxing career. Whatever happens today, he has gone where no Irishman has gone before, all the way to a World Championship final. A silver medal is already assured, but one thing is certain, Jason Quigley has only gold on his mind. And standing in the way of Jason's dream, though, is a young boxer from Kazakhstan who will be roared on by a partisan home crowd, hoping, as the host nation often does, for a glorious final day. Well, here to enjoy the tension and excitement only days like this can bring, while also imparting their intricate knowledge of the noble art, are Mick Dowling and Eric Donovan. So, let's look forward to this World Middleweight Final and assess Jason's chances. First of all, Mick, it's a momentous day in Irish boxing, first time this has ever happened, so while there's a lot of tension about it, it's also something that we can savour and enjoy, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It is the biggest day in Quigley's young career. He's had a fantastic career. He's done so much in such a short space of time, and today is the biggest challenge that he's ever faced. But we've said already about Jason Quigley, he seems to rise to the occasion. His dad said that in an interview yesterday as well. The bigger the occasion, the better he reacts and fights. Yeah. And it's going to be a difficult one because the Kazakh will have the home support, of course. The Kazakh is a very nice, quick, slippery opponent. It's very difficult to work out which of them is going to come out on top. We would, of course, be hoping that it'll be Quigley, but you know, when you look at the seedings and so on, they're seeded 5 and 6, Quigley being 5, and you look at the ranking, they're jointly ranked 7th. Yeah. So that's how close it's going to be. It's
certainly everything points towards a very tight contest, Eric, but of course we mustn't underestimate Jason's chances because of course he has boxed extremely well in this championship.
Absolutely, Peter. It's a massive day for Irish boxing. Most importantly, it's a massive day for Jason Quigley. He's already after making history by being the first male boxer to get to a world final. But one thing about Jason Quigley is he's used to winning major tournaments, and that's what he does, and he does it so well. So that's a great thing for us. We know that he's been there before, you know, he's done it before, been in major finals, so the nerves won't get the better of him. He'll be nice and relaxed. There was a couple of people asking about maybe the Kazakhstan boxer is going to be a little bit more fresher because he had a walkover through his semi-final. But I would actually prefer to be in Jason's position going in because Jason had a career best performance in his semi-final against the Russian, and the 3 previous fights before the Russian, I think Jason won them fairly comfortable. So he picked up no injuries, no cuts, no bruises, so I think he's going in here and he's on a crest of a wave at the moment. 32-0 already, or 33-0 I think his record is, and it'd be just great to see him crown off a magnificent run in the World Championships and take home the bacon, so to speak. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. The momentum is with Jason at the moment. And last night, Mick, while we were talking with Katie about the partisan home crowd, she was making a very interesting point that even as the opponent, that Jason will be able to feed off that because there'll be a great atmosphere and he'll love it.
There will be good atmosphere, you know, but we always say, you know, they can cheer all they like, but they can't come into the ring. There's just the two of them in there. And I think, yeah, Quigley will, he'll certainly react to the partisan crowd. You know, he's fighting a southpaw, and that's important from Jason's point of view in that Quigley throws a really good hard right hand, and I think, you know, that he's going to have to be trying to nail the Kazakh as he comes forward. Now that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You got to have very, very quick reflexes to do that. But I think Jason proved last night and in his previous 3 contests to that as well, that he's got the quick reflexes, that he's got the good footwork, and that he's got the intelligent brain to be able to pick off the Kazakh as he comes in.
OK, well, Olympic silver medalist Kenneth Egan has been following the fortunes of the Irish boxers over the past couple of weeks, and he's been talking to Hugh Cahill.
Yeah, not long until Jason gets into the ring now on what is probably the biggest day of his career so far. He's fighting for that World Championship gold medal, and we've been talking about what he must be feeling, I suppose, over the last few hours, and particularly last night. Somebody who might know a thing about that as well as Olympic medalist Kenneth Egan. And what do you think Jason has been feeling over the last few hours? Is it nerves? Is it excitement? A combination of both?
I think he's just going to try and keep it as normal as possible. He got up this morning, he went for his weigh in, he'd have his breakfast, and he'd go back into bed for a few hours sleep. That's all he'll do. He'll just keep it simple, and he'll keep it as normal as he has been for the last week and a half. And I'm sure he's looking forward to this fight now, and he's relishing the chance to go out there and win a world title.
Is it difficult to stay relaxed though, when you know, first Irishman to do this, you know, the chance of that world gold medal, this is what he's been dreaming of since he was 7 years of age?
I think all athletes are different. For me, I really only got nervous when I was approaching the ring. For Jason it could be different, but I know he'll stay focused. All he'll have in mind is the first round, the first 3 minutes, and then he'll take it from there. But he will be up against it today, against the home fighter. The crowd is going to be crazy out there, I can imagine, but he needs to stick to his game plan, execute it, and I'm confident that he can go out there and he can win the gold medal.
You've been saying all week, I mean, look, it took us an hour to get through here with the security. The president of Kazakhstan is here. There is going to be that home factor. But Jason's been fighting so well all week, and you have said all week that you believe that this is his championships.
I do believe in Jason. I believe he is going to be a world champion. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on the judges also, you know, to actually be fair and be correct in their scoring. But it's up to Jason. All he can do is what he can do in the ring. He can control the controllables. That's himself in the ring against his opponent. But I do genuinely believe that he can be world champion today.
Okay, well, we don't have long to wait now until Jason steps into the ring. It is against the Kazakh fighter. Incredible atmosphere here, it has to be said. Every seat sold out. Hopefully, this is Jason's day.
Yes, Hugh, we certainly can't wait to get over to the arena live. We will be there, of course, in plenty of time to see Jason enter the arena. Interesting, they spoke there about the pressure not only on the boxers, but also on the judges in a fairly intimidating arena. What'll that be like?
I don't think Jason is going to be worried too much about it. In fact, I think it'll actually play into Jason's hands, Peter, because he loves to be challenged. That's the kind of athlete he is. Yeah. He doesn't want an easy run in anything. I watch him in the gym all the time, and he likes to be challenged every day. And I said, you know, I pointed out before that he goes to the extra lengths. He stays behind. He does extra work on his weights. He does extra rounds of shadow boxing. He's just always doing that little bit extra. And you heard it in his interview yesterday. He said, I'm prepared to die in that ring. Yeah. You know, he gives his whole life to boxing, you know, so I think it's going to play into his hands. It'll actually, you know, kind of make Jason be even more prepared, and I think it'll influence him to step up through the gears. What he showed me yesterday was that he has different levels. He has different levels because in the quarter-final he was on the front foot, and then in the semi-final he was on the back foot. So Jason Quigley showed to me he hasn't reached...
Well, we can actually show the viewers exactly what we're talking about now, because we've seen very different tactical approaches from Jason. First of all, this is from the semi-final.
Yeah, he's in here in the semi-final. I think this is round 1. Yeah, he's just cruising on the back foot. Look how relaxed he is, picking his shots, not getting involved, rushing his breathing down his throat there. Look. And he's just landing his punches nice and calm and moving away. He's totally in control, even though he's on the back foot. It's amazing boxing. He's picking his shots. He's just picking out the gaps in the Russian defence, and he's breaking the Russian's heart. Here's the third round. He surprises the Russian. He goes forward. He changes his tactics. He was on the back foot. Now he's on the front foot. And he was out boxing him at the start, and now he's out fighting him. He has his chin down on his chest, which is very good. Because if you have your chin up high, you're open to getting cuts with a clash of heads. You know, he's very, very disciplined in what he's doing there. Look what it means to him in the end. Amazing. Yeah, that was a great performance. And we saw in the quarter-final make a completely different approach where Jason dominated from the centre of the ring.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we saw the two sides of Jason. We saw where he can box, and he can box off the back leg, leaning back, drawing on his opponent and counter-punching. And here we see him playing very, very cute again, nice quick counter-punching. But then he can he's proven that he can get in close and mix it again with any of them. But I like when he stands back, and I like when he's making his opponent miss. He's using that big long left hand, as you see here, to try and pick that right hand and get it on target. And again, if he can do that today against the Kazakh, I think that'll be a big worry for the Kazakh fighter. But Jason is, you know, he's just totally committed fighter. We mentioned earlier on in the week about the fact that he's first into the gym, he's last out of the gym. And all good fighters, all good athletes are like that.
Yeah, we certainly shouldn't be worried about his preparation, because it really has been spot on, and one can only imagine how Jason is feeling right now, moments before he leaves the dressing room and enters the auditorium, ready to do battle for gold. His world final is only minutes away, so we'll be back shortly.
One thing you can rely on every morning is McDonald's being open for the breakfast you want and the coffee you need. From 7 a.m, 7 days a week.
This week at Centra, we've got frighteningly good offers for the bank holiday weekend. Like Centra Fresh Irish Sirloin Steak, save 33%. Pablo Old Vine Garnacha, half price. Centra Halloween Barnbrack, only €1. And Nestle Cadbury and Mars treat size range, €2 each.
Battlefield 4, out 1st of November.
With Horizon TV, there are 19 HD channels included, and we can record 4 programmes and watch a 5th at the same time. Twice as many as we could record with Sky. That's 2 more things they don't do.
Introducing Horizon TV, now in a bundle, only from UPC.
Together, we can stop fire in the home. S, smoke alarm. Make sure you have at least one working smoke alarm on every floor. T, test your smoke alarm weekly, or ask someone to check it for you. O, obvious dangers. Stub out cigarettes and never leave cooking appliances unattended. P, plan your escape. Keep access routes clear, close all doors at night, and have your keys at the ready. Together, we can stop fire.
Yes, it's finals day at the World Amateur Boxing Championships. We'll be going over to Almaty in plenty of time to see Jason Quigley enter the arena. Not long to wait now. Let's have a quick look at his opponent, Eric. Where do you think Jason can get at him?
Yeah, I think he's a southpaw boxer. Here he is. He's not a disciplined southpaw boxer. Most southpaws would stay on the back foot constantly, but he likes to come in and fight every now and again, so I think that's going to suit Jason. Jason is what you call a universal boxer, which he can box on the back foot, on the front foot, and he can box in the pocket, middle distance. So this Kazakhstan boxer likes to come forward a bit more than normal southpaws, so this is going to play into Jason's hand. He likes to stand and scrap, so hopefully he does that today, and hopefully he loses his discipline when the crowd get behind him. You know, usually when the crowd gets behind
pressure will be on him,
yeah, the pressure will be on him. So hopefully that will play into our hands, and he'll come forward trying to scrap with Jason, and Jason keeps the nerve down and sticks to the game plan.
Yeah, but one thing we also know, Mick, that any boxer that reaches a world final is a serious operator. So, I mean, this guy will carry a threat.
He will, and it's hard to know what tactics the Kazakhs will adopt, you know. Will they tell the man to go forward and take the Irish boy out of it? Will they say stand back and box off the back foot? Here you can see the Kazakh nicely on the back pedal, and I think that's where he will be at his best, because most southpaws are most comfortable when they are counter-punching, when they're on the back foot. But here he's under severe attack here from Giratoni. the Romanian, but he's bobbing and weaving and slipping and sliding, and there's very little punches getting through to him. So he's cute and smart, you know, on the inside as well. And I think, you know, from the Kazakh point of view, if you're to do well against Jason Quigley, I would be saying, look, stay off Quigley, try and draw him on, try and make Jason Quigley miss and pick him off as he does, come in. But again, saying and doing it is much easier than performing it in there in the ring.
Yeah, and of course we know how well that Billy Walsh and Zor will have Jason prepared, because tactically they've been quite astute throughout the championships with him, haven't they?
They have, really, and you can talk about a coaching team coming up with a game plan, but the most important part is the boxer has to execute it.
Yeah.
The boxer is the one getting into the ring, and he's the one trying to execute it and keep focused. But I'd like to mention that Jason beat the Hungarian in the quarter-finals, Harsha, and beat him fairly comfortable and very easy. I only found out today that Harsha actually beat this Kazakhstan boxer earlier on in the year, so that will be more confidence for Jason going into this. I just really like Jason's position going into this fight, Peter. I think he's on a crest of a wave at the moment, and he's boxing out of his skin, so I'm with him on this one.
Okay, the wait is over. It's all systems go in Almaty. The boxers are about to enter the arena. So let's hand you over now to our big fight commentator, Jimmy McGee.
Yeah, and here he is, the man of the moment as far as All Ireland is concerned, Jason Quigley. Look at the relaxed smile on him. You see how loose his shoulders are. He's relaxed, all right, judging by that body language. Having a look around the arena. Remember Jack O'Shea Kerry, that king of midfielders in Gaelic football, used to say in big matches he looked around, see could he see anybody he recognised in the crowd. Well, that's sure relaxation, and it's sure the same for Alim Kanoli here of Kazakhstan. They've had a wonderful start to this finals day. In fact, Kazakhstan had 6 boxers through to the finals. Cuba 4, Russia 3, Azerbaijan 2. Just 9 countries out of 115 that entered have managed to get boxers into the final. So it's a fair measure of the achievement of 22-year-old Jason Quigley. Zarantia from Georgia, Billy Walsh from Wexford. The 2 men in his corner. And here's this big man, the Kazakh national champion. He's 2 years younger than Quigley. The president of Kazakhstan is among those who are in attendance here. I think I saw at least one of the Klitschko brothers, who are dominating the world heavyweight scene at the moment. There's definitely one of them in the arena, but they're so alike that 2 of them could be here. And we're away. Jason Quigley against the southpaw. And for the man from Finn Valley Boxing Club, the chance of everlasting glory in the Irish annals. Win, lose or draw, there's no draws of course in amateur boxing, but that's just the old saying. He has achieved a lot this year, an awful lot, and getting to this final is almost as good as the gold medal. But the gold medal is on his mind. Southpaw might suit him. Well set up, nice body position here for Quigley. Has the right hand cocked, as you can see. Shapes to go, come in, throw a right hand, thinks better of it. He's picked off by a nice right hand from Amek Kanoli. There's a healthy respect for each other here in the first minute of this middleweight final, 75 kilograms. Tentative there, lead from the Kazakhstani. Nice cover up by, that's not a punch that put him down. Or does it? There is a punch that put him down. I thought he was off balance and tripped as he did yesterday, but he's taking account. In terms of amateur boxing, what does that mean? It means only a punch. It's unlike professional boxing. It's no big deal. And as you can see, he's totally unaffected by it, Quigley. But he hasn't landed enough in the first minute, but he slipped there again. As you notice, without any opponent encouraging him to do so. Last minute of the first round. champion of Kazakhstan, is very cool, there's no doubt about that. This southpaw, he's from this region, so we'll have it's a big country, Kazakhstan, but a lot of them here live in the surrounds of where this ring is, in Almaty, and he's from that region. But as Mick Dowling so rightly said, they can cheer, but they can't or may not get in the ring. Still careful, still cautious. Quigley hasn't thrown that big right hand of his as yet. Like the panelists, I think that's the weapon that'll carry him to gold, if to gold is to be carried. Last quarter of a minute of the first. Interesting whether it's an omen or not. In the contest before, this one was refereed by Michael Gallagher. The surname alone will tell you what part of Ireland he's from. End of the first round. Slow, deliberate walk by Quigley back to the corner. Sorry, we don't have privy to what they're saying in the corner, but you can pretty well imagine. He was hit there, all right, but he was off balance as well as he was coming away from that. He was just falling off as the punch arrived in. He hit the man in the back of the neck, a rabbit punch. You may not do that. Referee has scolded him. 2 rounds to go. Final of the Championship of the World. What a title to be boxing for. What a time in a man's life. When you know you're only a few punches away. No surprising that sheet shows that he lost. On every judge's card, 3 judges only referee this. All 5 are judging it around the ring, but only 3 will be taken, and they don't know who they are. It's probably as fair as it could get. Over the years, we've tinkered with the rules and how to judge it transparently. I suppose that's as good a way as any. Now we're seeing the Kazakhstani showing a bit of power, and he's got a lot of upper body power. Quigley has to fight back and does it really well with a good landing left hand. A right cross from Quigley. The next right cross misses by a few inches, centimeters. Southpaw, strong, good stance. In fact, there's not a great deal of foot movement from the Kazakh, and perhaps there's a bit more leg and foot movement from Quigley. He's trying to maneuver his man around to get in that right hand. Referee has to step between them. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't know how they listen and think and everything all in the one go. And the referee is pushing Quigley over. You see there's a bit of a malfunction in some of the gear. I'd say it's a loose lace here for the Kazakhstan fighter. A bit spare on the camera shots. Indeed it is. A loose lace. No, it wasn't a bad guess, was it? Loose lace there on the man who's hoping to bring another honour to his country. One of the biggest countries in terms of success and numbers now in the world scene is Kazakhstan. Doing well too in athletics, doing well in football. Not well enough to beat Ireland, as you know, but however, they're making grounds. That's a beautiful right hand from Quigley. Lovely right hand. Kazakhstan has thrown a lot of punches around the head area, but every one of those that I could count was taken on the gloves or wrists of Quigley. Sees an opening, goes for it with his left hand, Quigley, but left himself open. Good right hand from Quigley. That turned the head a few degrees there. That was a smashing right hand from Quigley. A few more of those, and he'll be riding that big truck up the middle of Ballybofey-Stranola. That was a really good one. Left hand, 1, 2, 3, 4 left hands in from Quigley. Another one, the 5, has to take a couple on the gloves. This is a good minute we've had from Jason Quigley. One of his best minutes in the championship. Good left hand to the body from Quigley. Keep your head up, both of them. And they were trying to do that. They're rubbing hairstyles. Quigley's ranked 5 in the world. Oh, that's a couple of great shots, right hand and left hand from the Kazakh. And now Quigley has to show his strength, his fitness, and his preparation. And that he does. You could bet your life on that. This is a cracking fight. This is the way a fight in any division should be. A really very good round in the middleweight final. Great stuff from both boxers. There is a bit of a mark there on the left jaw of the Kazakh. I wonder how the judges did see that second round, because Quigley had a great first part to it. Once you release a hand to throw a punch, it leaves you open. Well, that's natural. You can't have 3 hands. But those couple of left hands, as you see on replay, had shown that well, the judges have once again gone big time for the Kazakh. So with the round to go, it's 2018 on all judges' cards. So he's now got the gold medal all but round his neck. There is one capability that Jason Quigley has got, and that is he hits hard enough to knock a man out. And now he's got to go for it in round 3. He never knew what it was to lose. He's now gone 32 fights in a row with victory, Jason Quigley. He's won everything in his path, way back to 2009, all sorts of championships for youths, boys, everything bar girls boxing. He's been the champion. But he has to stand in there toe-to-toe. There ain't no other way. Covers up well on the inside, blocks the best efforts of Al-Makouli. Good evasive action there, but Quigley got his head and body out of the way. But this champion of Kazakhstan is a bit of hot stuff. Good right hand, hooking in the inside, uppercutting in the inside for Quigley. But he had to take 3 or 4 in response to that. 2 minutes to go in the 3rd round with the championship of the world at stake. Heads, again, dangerously close, dangerously low. The best punishment for that is to clock your man on the jaw, and Quigley's just done it 3 times. He's got to come with a big finish here halfway through the 3rd and last round. Tremendous final from both men. The punching is hard, the punching is very accurate from both boxers. They come in level at joint 7th on the latest world ranking. Both men willing to throw everything they have. Some good hooking there on the inside by Jason Quigley. A right, longish right for Quigley. Good left for Quigley, good left again for Quigley. And that little flurry of punches must have encouraged 1 or 2, but he had to take one on the ear hole. Seconds to go. Can Quigley produce the big shot to make all the difference? He knows now, you know now, that he has to do that. And he's boxing a very, very fine champion here. And he's chasing after the Kazakhstani again. Both hands going, half a minute left in it. Quigley has to force the issue now. And again he's doing it, throwing both hands, 1, 2, 3, jab, right hand. He looks a little bit tired. It's very seldom you can say that about Jason Quigley. He's had to absorb a lot of stuff, but he's fought here with a heart and a half, and for sure he's driving forward. It's all over. It's the final bell. A fabulous last round, a great effort by Jason Quigley. Probably not enough. He knows it himself. The smiling face has given way to a face of reality now. But let's put it like this. This champion of Kazakhstan, Zanabel Alimkahuli, is a very fine operator indeed. Good technician, throws a lot of punches, hooks well on the inside, and came with a couple of good shots from the outside as well. But whatever happens, and we fear the worst, this has been a wonderful championship for Jason Quigley. He's done Finn Valley, he's done his own family, and he's done all of Ireland proud, but at long last, the fabulous run has come to an end. He was 32-0, as they say in America, but he ain't 33-0. It's a unanimous decision in this one. Undoubtedly a victory, there can be no argument about it. A very good victory for this man, the champion of Kazakhstan, the champion of Asia. So the reigning champions of the two big continents, two big boxing continents, Asia and Europe, were in opposition there. And the younger man, by 2 years, got the chance to show that youth was the winner. There's the score lines on all of them. The Sri Lankan thought it was a little closer, but the other two set it 10-9 on each of the rounds. So a win for Kazakhstan, their first ever win in World Championship Boxing, and with them winning, a lot of honour goes to the man who takes the silver. Donegal should be proud.
Yes, they certainly should, Jimmy. It's been a wonderful championship for Jason Quigley, but just coming up short at the final hurdle there, beaten by the Kazakhstani boxer, and that's given them their 4th gold medal of this finals day at the World Boxing Championships. So it really was a magnificent contest. Jason Quigley gave it everything, but unfortunately he has to be content with silver, and while Mick, he'll be extremely disappointed, World Championship silver is not to be sniffed at.
It's not bad at all, and yeah, he will be disappointed. He was up against a very, very good opponent, and he was fighting an uphill battle from, I suppose, the first minute of the first round with that knockdown. You know, it's just what he didn't need. It's like a team conceding a goal or 2 goals in the first few minutes, and disaster for him. And from that on, he was really fighting an uphill battle. He changed his tactic then. He started to fight because he was trying to pull it back. Maybe there was a little bit of panic there, that he was trying to pull it back quickly instead of taking his time to pull it back. But you know, on the other hand, you have to give full marks to the Kazakh. He was very, very good.
He was.
Even on the inside, his bobbing and weaving, I love that. And I love the tight, hard punches that he was putting in. And he was putting them in very quick, very sharp. He was much tidier and much neater than Jason. And I mentioned at the outset, you know, that might be a problem for Jason. You know, Jason opens up a little bit wide, and that perhaps when he would do that, he would get caught by this smart, cute southpaw. And I think that's, you know, has led to him losing out that first round, the second and the third. One judge gave him the third round, but I think the decision overall, you could not argue with that.
No, it was a fair decision. And Eric, we didn't think it would be a factor, but did the Kazakhstani boxer look a little bit fresher than Jason? Because certainly at the end of the contest, Jason had given it everything, but he looked out on his feet, didn't he?
I agree here. Jason did actually look tired. I thought he was fresh. I thought he was fresh coming in because he cruised through some fights, but then again, he was on the back foot. It takes up an awful lot of energy when you're on the back foot throughout them fights, not only physically but mentally. So he did look a bit spent there in the second round. But credit to Jason, like, you know, he's, 22 years of age. He hasn't even reached his full potential. And he's after removing the drought of world finals. You know, we've never got there before. He's done it. He's opened the door for us. But the Kazakh boxer, he was very, very good. For a southpaw coming forward in the professional style, I didn't think he was so good. I thought he was exposed in his earlier fights when he came forward, but he came forward so intact, and his chin was down, and he was driving in the shots. But fair play to Jason. Jason never gave up, and he's true to his word when he says he'll die in the ring. He threw everything. He threw everything into it, and you know, it wasn't meant to be, but incredible journey overall.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful championship. We're going to look back at some of the key moments from the contest, and as you've both identified, Mick, well, we'll call it a knockdown. He was on the canvas, but he was off balance when he took this shot. It wasn't really a heavy shot, was it?
No, it wasn't a heavy shot. It was a little off balance. If you watch, there's the left hand there now. caught him nicely. It was a good left hand, mind you, but Jason Quigley was a little bit off balance. In some ways, Jason was perhaps maybe a little lucky that he was on the back pedal, because if you got that standing solid and strong, it would certainly maybe perhaps hurt an awful lot more. There it is, good strong left hand, put Jason back on the seat of his pants, and from that on Jason was really chasing the fight after that, because that takes 1 point. Now the score, Jason was 1 point down only.
Yes, yeah.
People could have argued.
It could have been 10-8.
It could have been. It could have been. Eric felt that maybe the judges disregarded the knockdown. I don't think so. I don't think they had any choice but to give that knockdown. If anything, the judges were seeing the contest as perhaps level. At that stage, and then they gave the knockdown, which gave that extra point.
Yeah, because it was very close. Because it was a cagey first round. In the second round, it turned into a bit more of a brawl. And Jason had some good exchanges.
He really did. Yeah, he really did, Peter. But like, it's difficult when you're chasing the fight after losing the first round. It's the worst position you could be in to chase a fight, because you kind of lose your nerve then, and you lose the game plan. But what he done, he tried everything in his power, but fair play to the Kazakhstan, he was tough as nails, and everything that Jason hit him with, he just kept coming back.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you lose the first round, it's a losing battle you're fighting, and you're always trying to get that back. And of course, the Kazakhstan has the crowd on his case, and he's performing on the energy in the whole arena alone, so. He lost the first round. It's very hard to get back, but he tried everything he could.
But Eric, the way we've talked before about, the natural thing for a southpaw to do is to stand back and box and counterpunch. Now, you would have expected the Kazakh to do that, but he done it when he had to do it. But he was so well able to go forward and fight on the inside as well. And he was a universal fighter. He could box and he could fight. Now, Quigley can do...
Very similar in a way to Jason.
Quigley can do both as well. One of the real differences between them was that the Kazakh was just that little bit tighter. Jason opens up with his punches. He opens up a little bit wide. I'd love to see Jason over the next year or 2 years get a little bit more compact with his punches, because if he does that, Peter, he will be less open to counter punches himself.
And we can see, Eric, by the way, we can see some of the, while we saw Jason land some excellent punches in that second round, he also shipped a few as well, didn't he?
He did. And again, as I said, the Kazakh here, you see Kazakh bobbing, weaving, looking for his shot, pops in that left hand nicely. Some nice, good shots going in. Now Jason is, he's throwing in his own share of good shots as well, in particular that right hand. But here again, the Kazakh bangs in body shots, brings it up under as well to the, right up under for good solid uppercuts to the head, and these were all eye-catching for the judges.
And Jason got caught there with his chin up in the air, Peter, and I spoke about how great Jason's defence was throughout the competition. He had his chin planted in his chest, but he got caught with a shot there with his chin up in the air, and it's not like Jason, but the reason for it is he lost the first round, and when you lose, like I said, you're going to be exposing yourself, because you have to try to do things to try and get back on top, and you're going to do things out of ordinary, so you're going to forget the basic essentials by keeping your hands up, keeping your chin down, because even after the second round he was 2 down, so he'd only a knockout could win the fight for him, and it was the third round that he got caught with his chin up in the air, because he was just throwing the kitchen sink at him. But I would prefer that he did that. He could have went out there and just said, okay, it's over. But Jason, as I said, I would give everything, and he tried so hard in the end. But overall, great journey, great championship.
Yeah, Jason could have chosen to, just stay boxing and stay on the back foot and and still lose, But he did. He threw everything at it. He tried to pull it out of the fire, and in doing so, he exposed himself and stuck the chin out. And as I was saying in the last little piece, I would love Jason over the next year or two, and I'm sure his dad will be well aware of it, and Billy Walsh and company as well, to just tighten him up a little bit, just make him a little bit more compact. Keep those punches in that little picture frame, and once you do that, Peter, if you can stop, it's like in any field game, if you can stop your opponent from scoring, you're going to be very hard to beat. So if he combines a tight defence himself with the power and the skill that he's got, because he's got great power, he's got excellent skill, he will be an even more difficult opponent to fight in years to come.
Yeah, certainly other titles are certainly well within his compass. We saw them in the third round. In fairness, as Jason threw everything at Alam Kanuli, the Kazakhstani he threw everything at Jason back, didn't he? I mean, he was a game fighter as well.
You know, Eric spoke about it earlier on, and you asked the question, you know, would the fact that the Kazakh didn't have to fight a semi-final, would that make him fresher? It doesn't particularly matter at all, you know. Yeah. For me, and I'm sure Eric probably would agree, I like to be fight fit. I'd like to be match fit, and perhaps the more you get, the better. And I know Paddy Barnes tweeted, "Oh, how did they expect us to do 6 contests in 6 days or 7 days
without the head guard?"
Without the head guard. But look, it's the same for everybody. It's a level playing field, and that's the way it is. That's the tournament. Those are the rules you got to abide by. But the Kazakh here, swinging up with that big hard right hook, and time after time it got through to Jason, and if that one didn't get through, he was digging it into the ribs as well, and he was coming in with a good strong solid left hand over the top as well.
While it was a unanimous decision, Eric, I mean, it still was a very close contest, wasn't it?
It was very close, and like, you know, if the fight is close in any way at all and you're boxing the home nation boxer, you know, the crowd are going to influence the judges. There's no doubt about it. I was kind of hopeful going into this fight because Kazakh had won 2 gold medals.
3 now, by the way.
3 actually. Yeah. Oh, well, 3 now, but there was 2 previous to that fight. And I was hopeful then that Jason would get a fair shout by the judges now, but which he did. Like, I've no argument for Jason to win the fight at all, like, you know, but he put up a great performance. I probably don't even have an argument for him to nick any of the rounds, to be honest. His second round and his third round were the best round. There wasn't much happening in the first round, but then he got caught. You know, he got caught with the punch. I know he was off balance and all, but mentally that can distract you. It really can, because, you know, consciously you're thinking, okay, I'm 2 rounds down. That's going to be a 10-8 round, you know.
Yeah.
So that can affect you. But one thing's for sure about Jason Quigley is he will look at that fight now, and he will go back to the gym, Mick, and he will work. You're talking about, you know, you'd like to see Billy and Zor working on the things, tighten them up a bit, but he will. He's willing to go to those lengths. You know what I mean? He always wants to improve.
I think you know, Peter, if we can do anything here this morning for Jason, it would be to offer constructive criticism, and that is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Jason is a great fighter, and he's achieved so much in such a short space of time. I mean, he's got his underage titles, he's got his European senior title, he's got a silver medal out of this. But if only, I would love to see him a very tight, compact fighter, and it would make him a much improved fighter for the future. Because again, as I say, if he's not giving away scores, well then he's going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, and I suppose if any of our boxers are going to learn from World Championship, Jason Quigley will, because of his application and his dedication, Eric. I mean, you've spoken about that at length really on our programme so far.
He will, absolutely. And the kind of philosophy in the high performance gym is like Zor Antia brought a tactic to the Irish boxing setup. And what it is he's trying to create the universal boxer. This is what he calls a universal boxer. It's somebody that can box on the back foot, not get involved at all, similar to what Jason done for the first 2 rounds against the Russian in the semi-final. A universal boxer can box on the back foot, and then somebody that boxes like Paddy Barnes, right in the pocket, you know, close distance, close quarters, head and body shots, all tight and intact. And then there's middle distance. So you've got close distance, middle distance and far distance. That's what Zori Antia is trying to create, and we're working towards that. So he wants us to be masters in all 3 different aspects, because you know, you have to adapt to the different boxers that you're going to get. You don't know who you're going to get, whether it's a Cuban, the Cubans go on the back foot, some Russians like to come forward. You know, so there's all different aspects to the boxers, and he wants us to be able to adapt to anybody.
Well,
but we're working towards it.
Zor Antia is absolutely perfectly right, you know, because there's nothing like the complete boxer, the complete footballer, if you can do a whole mix of the whole lot. If you're a good boxer, that'll take you so far. If you're a good fighter, it'll take you so far. But if you can box and you can fight and you can do the middle stuff, and you have the power as well, you're going to be extremely difficult to beat.
Isn't it fair to say, though, then, that in Jason Quigley we've actually seen somebody who's actually beginning to achieve that?
Yeah. He's Jason. I love watching him on the back foot. He's very good. His footwork is nice. He's nice and smooth. He's intelligent, which is so important. But when the going gets rough, he's able to fight on the inside. And again, I repeat, and forgive me for repeating myself, let him just tidy it up. Let him just keep it in that little, those punches in a little small picture frame, instead of having to come all around the corner for a big punch. When he's going back to Donegal from here, he goes back the shortest way. He doesn't go a big roundabout way. So let's go straight to the target, Jason. Let's not go around. Just keep it a little bit neater. And I'm sure his dad sees that and he knows that. And these are things that you don't achieve in a very short space of time. These are things, and he's only 22 years old and he's only reasonably new to this class and standard of boxing.
Yeah.
It'll take time to learn all that sort of stuff.
But he's heading in that direction, Mick.
He's heading in the right direction, and again, Zora Antia has the right idea, Eric. Try and get a good sprinkling of all of those things, that you're able to fight, and you're able to box, and you're able to mix it, you're able to take a shot, and you have the power as well.
Yeah,
now, very few people can do that.
Yeah, and what we must focus on, we've been concentrating, needless to say, on Jason's final today. This has been Ireland's most successful World Championship. We've done extremely well in the Europeans in recent times, but now I suppose the positive thing that comes out of the entire tournament is we've taken another step, Eric.
We've been taking another step in the right direction, and it's a healthy position for Irish boxing. When you think back to the Europeans in June, 2 gold and 2 silver. I mean, the ladies went away. I think this should be mentioned. The female boxing team, junior team, went away, and a young girl named Ciara Ginty won a world junior gold medal. She's from the Geesala Boxing Club in County Mayo. Young Willie Donoghue from the St Michael's Boxing Club in Athy, County Kildare, won another world junior title.
And young Gary Cully as well.
Gary Cully won a European
medal and a Best Boxer award.
And a Best Boxer award. So, like, you don't really hear about these, but like this year has been a fantastic year, coming off the back of the success from the Olympics last year. So we're all the time, we're stepping stones all the time, and we're moving in the right direction.
Believe me, Peter, there's a conveyor belt of real talent coming up, and I would watch it on a regular basis at the stadium, all these youngsters. There's a conveyor belt of very, very good talent that will be as good and better than Quigley, than Kenneth Egan, than McDowling and Eric Donovan. Really, really good talent coming up in both male and female.
And a lot of it is down to, Peter, and a lot of it is down to the clubs nationwide, you know what I mean? Because there's volunteers in these clubs working night after night, night in, night out. Volunteers, they're the lifeblood.
Well, as we speak,
the clubs are the lifeblood of this sport.
As we speak here now, there's about over 150 entries or so at Boxing International Stadium going on now as we speak. Tonight, tomorrow night and Sunday, the Dublin County Board have a big tournament at the Green Isle Hotel, which they're calling the October Festival of Boxing. And there's 150 entries for that, ranging in age from 17 up to 40 years old. So there's loads and loads of stuff being done. Outside of what we see maybe on TV or here on the radio or the newspapers, lots of work being done on a voluntary basis by a lot of very, very good hard workers.
And of course, we must put the achievement of all the boxers who went to the World Championships in perspective, because in the final, no American boxer. We had Cubans, we had no South Americans. Basically, it was dominated. Kazakhstan, I think it's 6 finalists. So Asia and the Eastern Bloc countries certainly have dominated these championships, and only 2 Western European boxers, one of them being from Ireland.
Indeed. Well, look, you know, over the last 10 years, and we've spoken about this on many occasions, it's the money that's been pumped in by the National Sports Council into all the boxers. Our fighters are, they're amateurs, but they're really boxing as pros. Eric has been one of them, being well funded over the past number of years. And Eric was talking yesterday, we were saying, as Eric suggested, that we should even be able to field a World Series of boxing teams on our own, but you would need a big sponsor to come in, love boxing, and say, look, I'll sponsor an Irish team to enter the World Series of boxing. The Cubans have just come into it now recently, but we're well able to hold our own now with the Russians and the Cubans and anyone else.
Yeah, there certainly is great strength in depth.
Peter, it's also important to note that there was some fabulous performances from the rest of the Irish team out there. Like, I mean, Concheen had a career best performance against the Cuban. Adam Nolan, you know, he had a good performance against the French guy, but it was a controversial decision. Young Sean McComb went all the way. Like, the whole Irish team, the box brilliant out there, every one of them, you know, they outdone themselves really, like, you know, and it's a massive achievement to come home with 2 medals. First time ever.
Yeah, it's been a really magnificent championship for the Irish team. We're going to take a short commercial break. A reminder that the medal ceremony is still to come, so we'll be going back to Almaty in plenty of time to see Jason Quigley receive that World Championship silver medal. So do stay with us for that.
Zanabel Alimkahuli, he's done his own family. And he's done, so they run.
Sensitivity is one of those triggers that's telling you that there's something that's not quite right. If you choose to ignore it, well, chances are that is not going to get any better. I recommend Sensodyne Complete Protection. It's going to reduce the sensitivity of a tooth, protect the enamel, that helps maintain gum health, keeps your teeth nice and clean and white. Sensodyne Complete Protection is specially designed with 7 benefits. It ticks all the boxes for me. I've tried Sensodyne Complete Protection and it's the one I'm going to recommend to my patients.
Just how comprehensive is your comprehensive motor insurance?
A quote from Liberty Insurance is more than comprehensive because it includes added benefits as standard, like better car replacement and free breakdown assistance with Home Start. Take a 29-year-old teacher in Wexford with a full Irish licence, 5 years no claims bonus, driving a 1-litre 07 Toyota Yaris worth €8,000. The online quote is only €284. Go to libertyinsurance.ie or call for a truly comprehensive quote. Liberty Insurance. Insurance the way it should be.
We're really proud to produce the SuperValu Signature Taste Dine-In range. We produce 30 products from starters, mains and sides. We slow cook our pork belly for 3 hours. The slow cooking is a very natural way of cooking. It's a very tender way of cooking. What we believe in is high quality, locally sourced and giving back to the community. And I believe SuperValu have the same mindset.
Local, Irish, quality. Introducing the new SuperValu Signature Tastes range.
Forgot the handbrake.
Oh, I see her face everywhere I go, on the street and even at the picture show. Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Oh, I hear her voice as always playing the sweet music on my radio. Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Why, oh, why did she have to leave and go?
Hardly surprising that Toyota has the best resale value of any car brand in Ireland. Toyota, the best built cars in the world.
And you're very welcome back to our coverage of the World Amateur Boxing Championships. Unfortunately, no gold medal for Jason Quigley this morning in Almaty, but he's done extraordinarily well and comes away from the tournament with World Championship silver. As I said, the medal ceremony will be coming up shortly. Also, we'll have some action from the light heavyweight final that features the highly talented Cuban Julio Perazza, who knocked Joe Ward out of the tournament. We'll be seeing how he gets on in the final very shortly. But first of all, further reflections on Jason's tournament, but also what the future holds. Because, of course, now Jason's profile has been elevated as a result of reaching a world final. Obviously, we hope he stays within the amateur ranks. And I suppose now we start looking a few years down the road towards Rio, because this makes him a real medal contender for Olympic gold.
He's a contender, he most certainly is, and as I've mentioned already, you know, if he tweaks a few little problems that he has, and his dad and Billy Walsh and company will be working on that, he will be a real threat in 2 years' time for Rio. I mean, his championships have been just extraordinary, and the amount that he's achieved in such a short space of time has also been extraordinary. And he's come a long way from when I met him outside the National Stadium, and I've told this story before, and he was crying outside the National Stadium. He was only young, 18 years old. I think it was to Darren O'Neill he had lost. Yeah. And Darren at that time was a strong, big, mature man. And I remember saying to him, look, you know, you're only a youngster. You know, he's a man. You're only a youngster. Your day will come. And it certainly came even quicker than I thought. You know, I mentioned this also before, and it's worth mentioning again on this particular day, that both his dad and himself represented Donegal on the same bill at the National Stadium. Donegal versus Dublin, a father and a son on the same bill. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Probably not, and Conor has done a great job with the Jason, there's no doubt about that.
Both won.
Yeah. And I mean, they have a remarkable relationship as well, both in and out of the ring. But let's just talk about the competition that is in that middleweight division here. I mean, you know, Jason's going to have to work hard if he's going to get that Olympic spot for starters.
Absolutely. You know, I don't know, Ireland just kind of have just kept producing over the past decade some world-class middleweights. I think, like, if you go back to Andy Lee, a major medal winner, after Andy Lee, Darren Sutherland, God be good to him, another Olympic medal winner, in comes Darren O'Neill, another major medal winner, and then Jason Quigley. The rest of the world must be thinking, where are they growing these middleweights? Like, you know, let us in on the recipe or the secret, like, you know. But it's certainly good times, and Jason's only 22. He's still going to progress.
He certainly is, and as you can see, the medal ceremony now for the middleweight final is about to take place. So let's hand you back to our commentator, Jimmy McGee.
Thank you. Just to follow up with what Eric Donovan was saying there, yeah, in the 21st century, the middleweight has always been a most attractive division in Ireland. If you look at the 75k Roll of Honour, it's made up of these men have all won the middleweight 75k crown in the 2000s. Kenneth Egan, Andy Lee, Darren Sutherland, Darren O'Neill, and currently Jason Quigley. It's a galaxy of great talent. As Eric so rightly says, the rest of the world must be saying there must have some special tree and at the end of that rainbow instead of a leprechaun. Well, this is a big moment for the men who won the medals, and everyone on the podium here has something special to remember in days to come, in years to come. There was no fight in the semi-final for Anthony Fowler of England, and he had been boxing well up to the time when he couldn't pass the medical because of a hand injury. And there is our own man of whom we should be very proud, Jason Quigley. To be second best in the whole world. 115 nations entered for these championships. Only 9 of those nations made it to the podium, and only Italy and Ireland from Western Europe. No German, none of those. It's a fantastic achievement for Quigley. The fact that he didn't win is almost by the way. There is the new champion. He's also the champion of Asia. Which reminds me, how did Kazakhstan come to be playing in the European division of the FIFA World Cup? Another geographical question for another day. And here's something with which we're becoming very familiar today, the national anthem of Kazakhstan. And it's just another one after this, because they've now won. No, somebody told me long ago, and good advice, never talk over the national anthem of any country. National anthem, all right, for one of Kazakhstan. I mentioned earlier on that I thought the two Klitschkos were here, the two brothers who absolutely dominate world heavyweight professional boxing. Well, they're both here. And nobody can beat them. Nobody has beaten them. Who will beat them? Because they're both getting nearer 50 than they are 30 now. Well, there's the big three. Feel sorry for the young British boxer who did so well in the championships and thought he was in with a real chance. Jason Quigley, the smile has faded slightly, but only slightly. It hasn't disappeared. And listen, Jason, it should never disappear. Jason Quigley has had a great career, from youths to under 23s, right through to seniors to elites, to the World Championships. Only one thing he could do better, and that's exchange the silver for the gold. But there's many a man has said that through the centuries. He's been great.
He certainly has, Jimmy, and who knows, maybe one day he will exchange that silver for gold. It's been a wonderful tournament for Jason Quigley, and how nice it was to see the tricolour fly at the World Championships. Silver medal for the first time in our history, and for that we certainly should be extremely proud of Jason Quigley, and I'm sure he's going to get some welcome home when he gets back to Donegal.
He will, Peter, and rightly so. You know, they are very proud of him up there. You know, Donegal is always one of my favourite counties. It's a beautiful county. Love visiting there, and you know, Jason obviously knows the hills and the mountains well up there from doing his road work. But he's done Donegal and the whole country really proud.
Yeah, it's been an extraordinary tournament for the Kazakhstan, the host nation, because that was their 4th gold medal, and very shortly we'll see the end of the light heavyweight contest, and we'll see can Peraza turn the tables and get one for Cuba. But I mean, you've been out there, Eric, and you know very well, I mean, the strength and depth out there is extraordinary at the moment.
It is. It's unbelievable. They've serious strength and depth out there, and the whole of boxers in high regard out there. You know, it's probably one of the most popular sports out there, which is unusual, like, you know, because football and everything else would come ahead. But I was speaking to a group of people out there, you know, when I was out there, and I asked them a question, direct question. I said, why do you hold your boxers in such high regard out here? I mean, they're on billboards, they're on buses, they're on commercials. And they said, because our boxers, they put our country on the map. They win Olympic medals and world medals for us, like, you know what I mean? And I said, well, that answers my question. But I mean, then when you talk about the boxers, the discipline that they have training camps all over the place. And the attitude towards their training. I was taking notes all the time I was watching them. And I sometimes had to share the ring with 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. You know what I mean? And it was rough. It was like, you know, it was serious. But I have to say, they're very nice people. They're very, very nice people. And they looked after me so well over there. They made me very welcome. And that was one of the main factors in me actually staying out there for 7 months. You know, they're very nice people, and you know, I couldn't thank them enough for that. But Jimmy talked about the Kazakhstan anthem there. It's a very long anthem. It's going to get longer, Jimmy. There's a couple more of them, like, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, when you look at the way the results are coming in now, and you know, the Kazakhs are dominating with 6 in the finals, 4 wins apparently already. But you know, once you're hosting a big major championship like that, the host country are always going to take a fistful of medals. And I'm an awful lot longer watching boxing and talking about boxing than you two guys. That's because I'm older. And no other reason, of course, Eric. Of course. And every single time from when the Olympic Games were in Mexico City, they took a handful of medals. When they were in, you know, in Tokyo, they took a handful of medals. It's always the way. And if we could ever get the Worlds here, we would obviously clean up.
Yeah.
We really would. You
well,
know,
we saw the way Britain
advantage.
invested so much in sport because they were hosting London 2012, and it does reap its rewards. There is no doubt about that.
Without question. Yeah.
Now, one of the boxers that has impressed everybody throughout the tournament has been Julio Peraza, the Cuban light heavyweight. Now, we're going to have a look at the closing stages of his final from Almaty. Just to let you know, lads, he actually lost the first round, won the second round, so it was very tight in the third, but he really is a classy operator. But again, you see him there in the blue. He's up against the Kazakhstani boxer, and with them having taken 4 gold medals already, Peraza would have to pull it all out of the bag to try and win this contest. Level going into the third round, and this is how the third round shaped up, mate.
Yeah, well, you know, the Kazakh's very, very tall, really tall, awkward southpaw, but Peraza is a kind of fighter way out of my league, of course, but he would be the kind of fighter that I would hate to fight. And I mentioned this to Eric Donovan here yesterday. I hate, you know, hands down by the hips, a good shifty mover, very difficult to pin down. And the Kazakh here, even the Kazakh, as good and all as he is finding it very, very hard to pin him down, to get the scores on. And I can well appreciate a round apiece going into this final round.
Yeah, you know, I spoke about the universal boxer there, you know, a few minutes back, and I talked about them going from close distance, middle distance and far distance. This Cuban is just he's a one-trick pony. He's just far distance and he will not come forward. And you know, yesterday Joe Ward is a counter-puncher to some extent, and Joe tried to counter-punch the counter-puncher. It's never going to happen, because when Joe took a step forward, the Cuban took 2 steps back. He anticipated everything. There he is, he's after winning as well. He's lightning quick, and I tell you, I think he deserved to win that, because he was moving really well on the back foot there, and he was making the Kazakhstan boxer fall in. He was picking him with his shots. He's a nightmare for anybody to box.
I'm not sure if he would be able to do it on the inside if he had to. He probably wouldn't be too bad at it. But he's so classy at what he does. That's his forte. That's what he does well. He knows what he's good at, and I'm sure to get him every single time he goes out, that's the style he's going to adopt. And you're right in saying yesterday, he was able to see Joe Ward starting to launch. And if you're going to launch an attack, you don't tell anybody. You just go. It's so quick. You give no indication whatsoever that you're going to do it. Joe was a little bit telegraphing what he was going to do, and Peraza was reading him beautifully. He was anticipating everything Joe was going to do yesterday.
Yeah, but one thing that Joe deserves great credit for, because under such circumstances, it would have been very easy for him to become frustrated and to lose his composure and concentration. But he actually showed great maturity in the contest not to get frustrated against Peraza, didn't he?
He did. He tried everything, I suppose, but apart from throwing the kitchen sink at him. But then, you know, I said if that happened, if Joe lost his tolerance and his patience and got frustrated and jumped in, it could have looked a lot worse for him, because the Cuban was that classy. He was that classy. He was able to anticipate everything. 1 and 2 shots before they actually came at him, like, you know, and he was gone. He was just gone all the time. He was a half a step to the right or a half a step to the left, and he was able to anticipate. But Joe, he lost with some dignity. And again, it goes back to, like, we were getting Darren O'Neill ready for this World Championships because we didn't think Joe Ward was going to make it with his knee. So we were moving Darren O'Neill up to light heavyweight. Because he dislocated his knee back in June in the European Championship. So he spent all his the last couple of months getting the knee ready, you know. So I suspect he would have lost out on essential or crucial sparring sessions and stuff like that, trying to get the knee ready. So maybe he wasn't as sharp as he usually is. But then, I suppose, do we not that sharp and go out and come home with a bronze medal? Doesn't that say something?
It's not bad at all, and we must keep it in mind as well. He's 19 years of age, celebrates his 20th birthday on Wednesday, so he'll celebrate. Nice to have a bronze medal from the Worlds.
And the amount that he's achieved also, like Quigley, in that short space of time, and at such a very young age, it's just remarkable. He is a great talent. I'm sure there will be great efforts being made to make him turn professional, but I think, again, Joe Ward, I feel, is a bit of a home bird when he is away with teams, Eric. I think he's always wanted to be back home. And I would hope that he will stay back home and not be tempted by the pro offers. But he would definitely make a great pro, because the pace is a little bit slower and his big power punching would really pay off in the pro ranks. I think he could command quite a sizable figure to sign on the dotted line for the pro game. We've lost, unfortunately, John Joe Nevin to the pros. How well John Joe will do as a pro, I don't know. You know, it's a tough, hard game out there. It's not just a sport, it's a business as well, and it's going to be a hard road for John Joe. He's going to go and live in the States. How well he'll adapt to that, I don't know, because, again, he likes being at home with his family.
Yeah, we always have that for the most talented of our boxers, the looming threat, of course, of professionalism. Of the other boxers who went to Kazakhstan, we saw Michael Conlon do extraordinarily well, Tommy McCarthy, and of course Paddy Barnes, as always, a proven big championship fighter. I mean, we could very easily have medalled with another couple of the lads, couldn't we?
No, absolutely. I think Paddy Barnes and Michael Conlon, like, I know they won't be happy at all, but we're getting to the quarterfinals, because they're major medal winners, and that's what they do. They're European and Olympic medalists, both of them, and they wanted to go out here and you know, the complete package, bring in the world one as well. But then they moved up a weight going into this World Championship, so you have to remember that. And to get to the quarterfinals by moving up a weight for your first time at this new weight division, I think it's an incredible. I know the high performance, I know the coach and staff will be very happy with their achievements. I know they won't themselves, but you know, from an Irish perspective, it was very good performance from them all, yeah.
And we're actually waiting to hear from Jason after his final, and I think that interview is just arriving to us now. So let's go back to Almaty, and Jason Quigley, our World Championship silver medalist, is now talking to Hugh Cannell.
You gave it absolutely everything. I can't imagine how good you are right now.
Yesterday, words couldn't describe how I feel in a good way. Today is in a bad way. You know, give my whole life to the sport, and I don't want to go away and look at it that I'm going to be absolutely honoured to be the first Irishman ever to get this far. But
Jason, you gave it absolutely everything, though.
That's my job, that's my life. It's everything I do, you know.
you're a world silver medalist. Like, you're still so young. There's so much to take positive from this championship. I know it's not consolation to you now, but you can be so proud of yourself. Everything you've done.
Whenever you're a boxer and you get out of that ring defeated, you don't look at it that way for a few days, you know. So,
Vinny, what about this man? He's unbelievable. He gave it everything.
I can't ask anymore. You know, he's had 5 really, really tough contests throughout this competition, and the semi-final was a grueler, and to have to go back in less than 24 hours later to do it again, where his opponent had walkover yesterday, so that was a telling factor. I can see the fatigue in his punches today. It wasn't as sharp, but by God, did he leave everything. He went to the soles of his boots, you know, and hats off to him, you know. He's a true legend.
Thanks so much for everything. The championship's been unbelievable. Everyone at home has been going nuts. Fantastic.
We're very proud. Look, we're very, very honoured to represent our country, you know, and every time we're in there, we give everything for our country, and you know, we want to bring back that gold medal, but we have to win another one.
Right, well done, Billy.
But one suspects the wait may not be that long, because we've got silver, and there's definitely 1 or 2 out there that they can set their targets on World Championship gold at some stage. As we know, Jason wears his heart on his sleeve, and you can see it once again in the interview there.
Yeah, just a measure of the young man that he is. I mean, he's got a silver medal, world silver medal, first time ever for Ireland, and he's so disappointed. You know, you normally you cry when you lose, but he's crying there, and but he's really winning, you know, with a silver medal. But it just goes to show what it means to him. He eats and he sleeps and he lives boxing, and his dad the same. I can imagine what that household is like. You get up in the morning, it's boxing. You go to bed at night, it's boxing, and there's boxing gear thrown in the corner. There's boxing. I can imagine, you know, his mum trying to sort out things with his room full of boxing gear. But that's his life, as he said. That's what he does.
Yeah. Final reaction from you, Eric?
Yeah, it's just I'm so proud of him. I really am, and he should be very, very proud of himself. I know when he gets some time to reflect on it and all, it's he's happy as it is, but he wants to win. He likes to win. You know, that's what he does. But I've no doubt in my mind when he comes back and he watches the tapes and all, he's going to want to improve. He's only 22. He hasn't even reached his full potential. He's after showing me a few gears there throughout that World Championships that he can go into already. So it's a great day for Irish boxing. It's a great day for Jason Quigley.
Yeah, it certainly is a wonderful achievement for Jason Quigley. World Championship silver medalist. Came so close, but on the day just wasn't quite there. But certainly he'll have other opportunities to win gold. Well, that's where we have to wrap it up. My thanks to Mick and Derek for their company in studio this morning. I'm certain when Jason Quigley gets home, there'll be a warm welcome from all the homes of Donegal. From all of us here, bye-bye for now.
He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and biting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance.
Are you ready for more? Then get ready for the best value bundle from Aircom ever. Get home phone, super fast broadband including eFibre, and for the first time, free eMobile for 6 months with a free smartphone. All yours for just €45 a month. The best value Aircom bundle with free eMobile and a free smartphone. Call 1-800 503 303 to sign up for your bundle today.
This week at Centra, we've got frighteningly good offers for the bank holiday weekend. Like Centra Fresh Irish Sirloin Steak, save 33%. Pablo Old Vine Garnacha, half price. Centra Halloween Barmbrack, only €1. And Nestle Cadbury and Mars treat size range, €2 each.
Is complete, crammed with delicious meaty chunks, crunchy kibbles, and vitamins and minerals. It's so delicious. Dogs will do absolutely anything to get their paws on it. Well, it is irresistible. Bake is complete. It's dog-delicious. Purina.
You'll never be blue.
word to the wise. It's time for something new. Have fun. Don't hold back. With brands for less, savvy is the new black. Love your style. Respect your money.
Big labels this season, always up to 60% less. TK Maxx.
The Curry's PC World Sale ends this Halloween bank holiday with incredible savings on these Samsung Smart TVs. This 40 inch is just $579 and this 50 inch is down to only $949. This brilliant ASUS laptop is powered by an Intel Core i3 processor, simply amazing value down to just $389. And this large 8 kilo 1400 spin hoover washer is now $299 and it comes with free delivery. Hurry, ends Wednesday at the Curry's PC World Sale. We can help.
We've some changes today on RTE1. You can see the Dragons out on tour next Saturday, while now, later than billed, Danny's kids aren't buying the Just Good Friends line in Necessary Roughness.
In boxing, fighters need a selective memory. They have to embrace their successes. Remember that one loss doesn't define them. One knockout won't end their career. But most importantly, they can't forget to keep fighting. Otherwise,
yes, Matt, I hear you. TK's not showing up for his training sessions, but I mean, what are you going to do about it? Nico, you can't bribe TK into therapy. It defeats the purpose of the entire thing. Coach! Coach! I understand that he missed a film